Hello, this is Ron with Rising Sun Properties. Today I'm headed to Wakayama. It's a bit of the countryside area and a good example of a true Akiya, cheap one that needs a lot of renovations. Some of our clients want that kind of property, and if you know what you're getting into with the renovations, that's fine. This particular client of ours has a business doing renovations, so they know exactly what they're getting into, and they are wanting a property like this one here. So headed out there. This was built in 1983. It's a wooden structure, 3.9 million yen, 60K, 137 square meter building, 207 land in Kinokawa, and about a 10-minute walk from the station. And here are some initial thoughts while I was at the property. Hey guys, Ron here with Rising Sun Properties. I'm at a property I'm checking out. Shaved my beard for a commercial I did actually recently. The only time I really shaved. I'm here at the property. It's in Wakayama, and you can see it's got a great view. I'll post about the video, all the details in the video here shortly, but just want to give a quick breakdown while I'm here. It's a pretty large home. It's 2 stories, like 4 LDK, maybe about 120 square meters. Built in 1982, so it's not super old. It is your Komika style, as you can see, kind of old Japanese style. 3.9 million yen, so that's just really cheap as far as any home is concerned, but especially this size. But as you can see in the video, and I'll post all the details later. I was looking under the floor there. Actually, foundation looks pretty good, so that's a good sign. You know, you always get what you pay for. Something like this, it is in Wakayama. It's a bit out there. Not a lot of people looking in this area. You know, the client I'm working with right now who's interested in this property, they are in the business of remodeling, so they can do a lot of work themselves. So might be a good buy, especially for, you know, somebody that is interested in doing a lot of hands-on work themselves. I always kind of try to steer people away from that just because it is a lot more work, and especially if you're not living in Japan, you know, it can be a bit to handle. But in the end, I want to do what's best for the client. So we're looking at this property here. And again, overall for the price and the location, the size and the structure, I don't think it's too bad really. As long as you're willing to put in the work, which as you can see in this video, there's a lot of work to be done. So, you know, always keep that in mind when you're looking at properties. A lot of soft floors in here. If you can raise your budget and get something a little newer or renovated, it's always ideal. But if you have the means and the ability to remodel and renovate yourself, then by all means, we're here to look what's best for you. All right, and now on to the actual tour of the home. As you can see, it's very Japanese style. It's the Komika style home. It's at the end of the block, so you don't have anybody behind you, and a great view off to the right. It is built in 82, so it's inside the new standards for earthquakes that were set in 82. Here's a view out the backside. It's not in the city, so, you know, if you're looking for something in the countryside, Wakayama's not a bad place to look. You see there's a lot of trees and nature around. Got some turf laid down there, which is good actually, so it's easier to upkeep the grass. And I didn't see too much water damage, to be honest. I think upstairs or downstairs there was a place, but it might have been from a leak on the second floor or something weird going on in one of the rooms. Don't know exactly what it is, but you'll see it later on in this video. There are shutters on the home, so you can shut them up if you're gone for a long time or if there's a storm or something coming through. Foundation looked pretty good. A couple minor, you know, hairline cracks. That's something I always look for. If down on the foundation, the cement, there's big, you know, wide gaps and they look like they're off center from each other, it probably means that the structure has shifted and could cause some issues. You know, there's something going on underneath. This looks structurally sound. From what I saw, again, I'm not an expert, and we always recommend getting an inspection done. But overall, from what I saw, it's didn't look bad at all. A lot of wood. Again, very beautiful looking Japanese style home. look under the awnings here and didn't see any water damage there. Some brick laid up for some kind of repairs going on. Here's the entrance from the backside and going into the kitchen, and as you can see, it's just an abandoned home, true Akiya style, and basically everything needs to be remodeled and redone in here. But for the price, if you're willing to do it and that's what you want to do and know what you're getting into, then that's completely fine. We don't really have a minimum budget for our clients. So here's a look underneath. Again, doesn't look too bad at all. Wood looks okay. There was a soft spot around the bathroom, which I'll show. But looking here, everything looks dry. No mold, no termite damage, wood rot, things like that. So that's a really good sign. That whole thing needs to be replaced. Into the next room. A hole in the wall down there, not sure exactly what that was for. Usually the holes are up a little bit higher for the air cons. Plenty of storage like all Japanese homes have. Tatami looked okay. You know, if you want to replace them, that's completely fine. And it's not too expensive. There's a range of prices on tatami, but you know, they start out pretty cheap. Moving on to the next room. Lots of space. So this place has tons of potential. A little bit of dust up there. Japanese scenery carved into the wood. Pretty common. You see this a lot in this era of home. Again, I always check the corners of everything. You're not going to see a lot of water damage on the first floor, of course, but it's always good to look around and see what you can find. This is back facing the front, so this is the front of the house, and here I saw a bit of water damage right there. Not exactly sure what's going on in this room on the second floor. I'll show it later in the video. There's something going on the floor. It's kind of weird. Not exactly sure what it is, but that's possibly where the source of that water came from. This other little hallway room. This home is very reminiscent of a home that I lived in here in Nagoya, almost the exact same layout. I had this exact same room, so I'm not sure if there's an actual purpose for it or storage or whatever it is, but you see this kind of often in these style homes. This is coming back in towards the front, so this is the genkan, very large, open. Again, one thing to keep in mind in these older homes, it's going to be kind of warm in the summer and pretty chilly in the winter just because there's not a lot of insulation in the homes. Newer homes are better insulated. You know, I think it's a lot to do with the weather change. It's just much hotter than it used to be in Japan, and I think all over the world. A look at the ceiling and the genkan, and yeah, beautiful wood. No signs of damage up there. Very open and spacious. There's these weird marks on the door there, so I'm not sure what that's all about. That's the stairs going up to the second floor. We'll get there in a minute. Here is to the toilet, and right here is where the only place in the home that had soft floors, but right here specifically, the floors are pretty soft, so not sure what's going on there. Here's the bathroom, quite dated as you can see, and that whole area, yeah, you can see it sinking down there. But water was running, but again, this would probably need to be remodeled and replaced. Working the way it is right now. This is where your washing machine would go, and here is the bath and shower. Check the water. Water here was working fine. Here's the toilet with the baby pink. Something's going on the wall there. Flush the toilet. Again, flushing fine, so it is functioning. It's always a good sign. Right here, looks like it maybe had been patched in the past, but something going on there. Again, to be expected in a home of this age and price. Down the hallway, another peek into the kitchen, and here's another room. Could be a bedroom or maybe dining room, not really sure. There's no storage, closet area, so not sure exactly what you would use that for. There's some coloring up there, but I don't think that's water damage. It's carpeted. And now on to the second floor. Something coming down the walls on both sides, so maybe something was sat up on the ledge there and spilled down. A little crawl space to the right there that we'll take a look in, an attic and storage area, and was able to view the structure a little more and saw no signs of damage there. Here's a couple pressure cracks on the wall, and there are 2 rooms up on the second floor here. It says tatami. Again, closet storage area. Shutters are shut. Probably should have opened that for the video. We'll let in a lot more natural light. And no signs of water damage. That light looks like it could be replaced. Has seen better days. Oh, never mind. There's a little bit of water damage right there. As far as fixing the roof, if it's a complete replacement of the roof, that could be quite expensive, but sometimes they can just replace a couple patches, and that could be as low as, $800. And here's the second room. It is carpeted. Like I said, there's something weird going on. I don't think it was like blood or anything like that, but just not really sure what was going on there. But I think that maybe that's where the water stain from the first floor came from. Here's a crawl space into the attic area. So have a good look, at least in this area, of the wood. Everything looked fine. Lots of storage. You see in the walls, it's pretty interesting the way they would make it. It's like mud and dirt just kind of packed in there. Wood looked fine. No water damage, no mold, no termite damage that I could see. So that's, again, a really good sign. And here's a peek through another crawl space just to take a look. So that is the entire tour of the home. 3.9 million yen, true Akiya. Needs a lot of renovations. If that's what you're interested in looking for, that's completely fine. Again, we don't have any budget minimum. Happy to have a free initial call with you to kind of go over details, my experience, and see how we can help you. We are a licensed real estate agent. Please reach out anytime via email or WhatsApp. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.